You see, if you've been in crypto long enough, you start noticing a pattern. 1 minute, an exchange is bragging about its military-grade security, and then the next, billions vanish into thin air. Like magic, but instead of a magician, it's a North Korean cyber cartel funding missile programs with your Ethereum. Last week, it was Bybit's turn, a staggering 1.5 billion in Ethereum gone. Not a glitch, not a mistake, a surgical, calculated and painfully flawless heist. The kind that only one group in the world pulls off this cleanly, which is Lazarus. These guys don't just hack, they engineer multi-million-dollar digital heists for a living. They've ripped apart banks, crippled corporations and walked away with so much stolen crypto that if Lazarus were a hedge fund, they'd be top 10 on Wall Street. But here's the part that nobody wants to admit. They're not slowing down. In fact, they're getting better. And today we're breaking it all down. How did they do it? Why does North Korea keep pulling off the biggest crypto crimes on the planet? And most importantly, if they can steal from billion-dollar exchanges, what's stopping them from taking your crypto next? Buckle up, because this is the real story of the Bybit hack and why Lazarus might be the most dangerous force in crypto right now. Jamie had always been fascinated by the underworld of cybersecurity. This silent war waits in the depths of the internet, where digital thieves operated in the shadows, moving billions with a few keystrokes. It was a world where nations fought battles without soldiers, where the most dangerous weapons weren't bombs or missiles, but lines of codes. And if there was one group that embodied this invisible war, it was Lazarus, North Korea's infamous hacking collective. A team of state-sponsored cybercriminals responsible for some of the most audacious heists in history. Jamie had been following Lazarus for years. The Sony Pictures hack in 2014 had been the first time the world really took notice of them, when an entire entertainment giant was brought to its knees in retaliation for a Hollywood movie. Then came the Bangladesh bank heist in 2016, where Lazarus almost made off with $1 billion, exploiting weaknesses in the global banking system. The attack was as meticulous as it was terrifying. A few changes in the SWIFT system, a couple of forged credentials, and suddenly millions of dollars went vanished into the ether. But if those earlier hacks were audacious, nothing compared to what Lazarus had been doing lately. Over the past few years, Jamie watched as the group shifted its focus almost entirely to cryptocurrency, recognizing it as the perfect playground for untraceable wealth. There was the Ronin network hack, where they drained over $620 million from Axie Infinity, the CoinCheck breach, where they stole $530 million, and the Harmony Horizon bridge attack, which was another $100 million gone in just a flash. And now, just last week, it had happened again. Bybit, which is one of the world's largest crypto exchanges, had been hit, and it had been hit hard. The news broke late in the night. Over 1.5 billion in Ethereum had been stolen in what was already being called one of the biggest crypto heists in history. For Jamie, the sheer scale of the attack was breathtaking, but the method, that was where the real horror lay. Unlike traditional exchange hacks, where attackers breach hot wallets with brute force, this heist was something far more sophisticated. Bybit's Ethereum cold wallet, meant to be the most secure offline storage for user funds, had been compromised during a routine transfer to a warm wallet. Now, the attacker, instead of outright stealing the funds in one go, had manipulated the transaction interface itself, masking the real destination address while displaying a legitimate one. It was like handing someone an envelope full of cash, only to realize too late that the recipient had swapped the address without anyone noticing. By the time Bybit's security team realized what had happened, it was already too late. Billions in Ethereum had already vanished. Jamie, however, wasn't the only one connecting the dots. Zach XBT, the well-known blockchain sleuth, had begun tracing the stolen funds almost immediately. What he found was disturbingly familiar. The attacker had used test transactions and wallet movements that bore a striking resemblance to previous Lazarus exploits. The patterns, the laundering techniques, and even the digital fingerprints, it all pointed in one direction, which was North Korea. For Lazarus, this wasn't just a heist, it was statecraft. Now, Jamie had long known that North Korea's economy was in shambles, crushed under sanctions and cut off from traditional financial systems. Their government had realized years ago that cybercrime was their way out, their golden ticket to funding nuclear programs and military expansion. In cryptocurrency, it was the perfect vehicle. Because no banks, no regulators, no oversight, just raw untraceable wealth. The response from Bybit was swift. CEO Ben Zhao reassured users that all funds were safe and that operations would continue without disruption. The company had already secured a bridge loan to cover 80% of the losses, while investigators worked tirelessly to trace the missing Ethereum. But Jamie knew how this usually went. Once Lazarus had their hands on stolen crypto, it will be mixed through services like Tornado Cash, funneled through countless intermediary wallets, and eventually reappeared in the coffers of the North Korean state. It was a ruthless, sophisticated game of cat and mouse. Now, the FBI and Treasury Department had sanctioned Lazarus-linked wallets before, but it could only chase the money so far. Each new attack showed how the group was evolving, adapting to every new security measure, finding new ways to exploit the ever-growing crypto industry. Jamie leaned back in her chair, staring at the latest blockchain transaction records. Now, another day, another billion-dollar heist. The Lazarus Group wasn't slowing down. If anything, they were getting better. And the terrifying part, they were just getting started. Now, subscribe if you found this video helpful, leave a like to help the algorithm, and I'll see you guys next time. Doei!